Thursday night. We got a few stories to read for you. Some updates on Lavalette, Atlantic City, and Edison coming up soon in September.
What's up?
Hey, Jamila.
Hey. Getting this right now. Yeah, that's good.
Good evening.
Hey, you can see all the way out onto the back deck there. Look at that.
Nice.
Yeah. What's going on?
Oh, not too much. Some some s- chatter today about descheduling. Did you hear about descheduling? What do you
Yeah,
think about that?
I figured I'd let that percolate for a couple of days before I dove in. What do you think? I mean, I like the idea of, yeah, let's just deschedule it. And I like the idea of having home grow in our original bill. But how long is everybody willing to wait? I mean, you gamble on, I understand, well, schedule three, yeah, but then if you do that, then they're never gonna want to go to descheduling or whatever. And I don't know what to think of that sometimes. I mean, I agree something should uh be the best it can when it comes out, but and we've proven here in New Jersey, somebody said, yeah, we can revisit this again later. That doesn't necessarily happen. So how do you feel about it?
It's not going to affect anything in New Jersey, from what I understand. From what I understand, people are like, "Oh, the bud tenders are going to have to get pharmaceutical licenses now," and no, I don't. I don't think that's going to happen because I think that's going to. I think we're safe. I don't think they're trying to affect patients or that's going to affect patients if everybody has to be fired because they don't have pharmaceutical licenses now.
Yeah, that would be along the lines of Governor Christie stalling the original law, looking for assurances from the federal government that it wouldn't affect New Jersey, that they wouldn't get in the way or start coming after people here when he knew they wouldn't. And I can't really see them doing that either. That'd be like really counterproductive. I don't know. It took so long to get anybody to the table. And one thing I've never liked about the DEA, when people petition them, it never comes with a time limit for an answer to respond. And they've gone for over 2 years at a time over not responding to the simplest of things. So whatever schedule it does get into, it's probably going to be there for a long time. If you look at, past history. So that's a little disconcerting, but I agree, it doesn't do much to us here in New Jersey. Um, I suppose it should have some incredible benefits otherwise in the
Like, yeah, how would
country.
it affect people in like Kansas? How would it affect them?
Well, Schedule 3, what is that exactly? Which is that? I mean, I know there's like all the way up, or they're suggesting a Schedule 6. There's 5 schedules, I believe.
Schedule
And
three is like ketamine and steroids.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
that kind of drug.
that's a little bit incremental for the amount of um, experience we've had with cannabis now and seeing its effect a little more clearly than 50 years ago, whenever scheduling started. Yeah.
They're saying it's a big step forward, but
Well, yeah, it's a big step when you haven't taken a step in 30
yeah,
years or whatever.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody like well, anybody that hadn't taken a step in a long time, ask Justin what taking a step would mean to him, a little tiny one. I'd say Brian, but he can still take little tiny steps with assistance. Oh yeah. If this is a baby step, does it come with like a walker? Is it that kind of baby step, or is it just
Yeah,
crawling along?
yeah, something like Lavalette would give you on the beach there.
Oh boy, boy, boy. Yeah.
What a
Uh,
crazy thing in Lavalette too. I tell you, that's what a mess.
it's hard to believe almost. I mean, it just seems like we should be hearing about that from a, a lesser progressive state, you know. Now, was that uh, good? I hope you sue us. I hope you get a lot. Whoever, whatever.
Yeah,
Was that recorded, or is that like hearsay?
hearsay for now.
Uh,
For
yeah,
now, we're trying to get those
Oh, body cam recordings.
No, they shut them off, but there should be processing room footage, maybe. We're hoping.
That's a fair question. Why would they shut them off? I mean, they shut them off after uh, things got put in motion.
Yeah, once the investigation's over and there's an arrest, I guess they don't have to body cam anymore. Yeah,
Hmm.
very strange rules, and
I
there's no.
would, I would think I wonder if somebody said, I see you turn your body cam off. I'm requesting you put it back on. Do they have the right to say no? I mean, because it just seems like they would have stuff to gain by having proof of what happened after that in case somebody started acting up.
Yeah,
So I
procedures
guess
don't.
it's only when they want to act up and if the other person's complying. I mean, it's really not another way to look at it. They must have a normal procedure, but you can bet it's not written. And they don't much like written rules. Yeah, that's I wonder how they're gonna play it. I don't know.
I saw people getting a lot of money for being illegally detained and handcuffed.
Yeah, and it just seems like if this goes to court, there's gonna be some information about how they operate in Lavalette being spoken of in court, which would apply to punitive damages, I would assume. I mean, somebody like Mikey certainly couldn't say, yeah, I've got PTSD since that happened. Because, neither one seemed to be overly uh, demonstrative about anything, which is good. They would have liked to have that on body cam, but no. I just was messaging with Willie Beamer there for his first court dates on September 21st. And I'm guessing that's just to plea, to register a plea. Because that's all they're gonna do on a first court appearance. And
Thursday. What time? Do you know what time?
yeah, well, I mean, I hate, I can look it up here, but I feel like I'm gonna
Okay.
be able to hear you, but not see it. But let's live on the edge here. What the hell?
I want to put it in my calendar here,
Yeah.
Willie, for September 21st in the morning.
I'm looking at it now. I don't have your picture, but I bet I can get it back. I'm hoping.
Okay, got that.
He didn't say what time. I thought he did. No, I don't know. It's 21st. I'm gonna talk to him tomorrow or Saturday, quick
And that's
phone
like
conversation.
that's Salem County or some, right? Or where is that?
Yeah, I think so.
Salem County. Yeah, that's a new one. Never been
Now,
there.
now I'm looking for you. I hear you. Um,
Oh, you hear me? You don't see me?
yeah. Um, post attendance. It's not there. Wait a second. That's the open Zoom meeting thing. That's not it. That's not it. I kind of thought this would happen, but I'm not too worried. Are you there still?
Yeah, I used to be able to spotlight videos. I can't do that anymore.
Yeah, let me figure out how to do this. Uh, well, I got all sorts of other stuff up, but I don't want that. Damn. Good Jerry Lee Lewis video, but what the hell? I don't want that. I might have to just leave and rejoin the meeting. I mean, I hate to do that. It's like kicking a tire, or if a computer doesn't work, just shut it up and start it up again.
Did you
Are
get it?
there? No, I can't see it. I
Oh,
like it. Let me
that's interesting. I'm here. I'm here, Jim. I'm here.
Yeah,
Look,
I know, but
wave my
I-
arms.
I'm looking at
Oh,
all
I'm
the
over here.
possibilities. There's nothing going on, you know? Here,
Technology, it's a
I don't want to be
double-edged
seen
sword.
like this.
This is a double-edged sword, this technology thing.
It's, all right, listen, I'm gonna just shut this and I'll be, I'll be right back.
Shutting it down, tapping out.
Yeah.
It's tapping out. Oh boy.
Okay,
There goes.
I shut
Oh,
that off.
can't shut it off now. Oh
I
boy.
shut that.
Shut
No,
it
I
up.
can't.
Shut
I
it up.
gotta,
I'm gonna shut you down.
now I got nothing up here that looks anything like,
We got nothing. We got Pupkis.
yeah,
Nada. Zilch.
well, I'll shut it down.
Ungats.
I'll turn the computer off and start it up again. I don't
Oh,
care.
don't threaten me.
I'll lose everything.
Don't you threaten me.
I don't see anything here. Well, let's see.
So yeah, we're gonna go to Nixon.
Oh, I got it. Okay, sorry. Got it.
Nixon wants Schedule 3. Richard Nixon would love Schedule 3. Did you know that?
Yeah, that, well, I think,
Just saying.
how long
Yeah.
have we had schedules? That's 19,
Yeah, I mean, Harry Anslinger would like Schedule 3.
I mean, Nixon had that, what do you call it? What all started in 72? What did he do then? It was where,
Tricky Dick.
yeah, but I forget what that whole process was called back then. It's going back over 50 years. Backyard deck looks nice. Yeah, I've somehow become addicted to practicing the keyboard now. And I'm finding I can learn that way quicker than I learned the guitar. I feel like I fucked up when I picked a direction.
Oh, there's lots of keys and key codes, and
It's a fuller instrument, you can play 6 notes at the same time on the guitar on 6 strings. If you strum on a full chord, you get 10 fingers and 10 keys right away. And but it's perfect for practicing because you can practice a left hand like this, like reaching out to the side. And so when I have left hand work to do, I can be doing something on the computer and just over and over again doing the same thing. So it develops muscle memory that's working out. I'm surprised, taking the place of all sorts of other things I'm supposed to be doing. And on one hand, it seems like a waste of time. On the other hand, I really enjoy it. It's like a puzzle. And I can do everything slow that I need to. And then the other hand, and then they got to work together. But it's I break it down. I have patience. Cannabis is good for that. So yeah, it all started with that lighter shade of pale thing. I thought, how hard can that be? And it's not. But now I'm figuring out so many ways to approach that now. And so in our little practice band, I'm going to be gravitating as much towards the keyboard as the guitar, because we already got a guitar. And if we're both playing rhythm, it's 2 guitars playing a rhythm part, because I can't, really play a lot of extemporaneous lead guitar. And, I do what I can, but I do way better on this. All of a sudden, it's just to look on last week on John and Rick's face when I told him I was trying to learn the song a little bit then, and then through the headphones, it sounded like, holy shit, it sounded good. And then I'm finding I don't have to look at what I'm playing on the keyboard, because, well, it's hard to explain. The fingers are so far apart from each other. So if one has a root note, all the others move if that note's in the same next chord, and I'm working out ways just to play anything I want. And I don't know. Getting in the way of other things I'm supposed to be doing now. Like I'm getting back trying to do one letter a day to legislators that are overdue on getting a nudge letter from their constituents. And actually, Tina would have got, I hope, I didn't see if Jason's her constituent. I didn't I gotta see if he actually sent out what I got to him. Once or twice he didn't say, yeah, I just sent that out. Because he's supposed to send it and then send me a copy of that sent email. So I have the same copy, but it's like a same thing as blind copy of it, I guess. But yeah, this one's interesting. I guess I didn't. I was gonna email you a copy of it just so you're right in that loop. You know, already having gone to a fundraiser and having a little skin in the game there yourself. But it's all about what I was putting pretty much up on Facebook before, that any senators, Republican senators, have co-sponsoring S342 who do not engage their Senate president about this blockade and ask or demand that he remove it. You know, their co-sponsorship is almost without merit. I mean, to co-sponsor a bill you know isn't going to get heard unless you do something. So I'm floating with Tina, actually, the fact of the theory that maybe they didn't really want it or discussed or care if it got discussed. They just wanted to bitch at Democrats for not co-sponsoring it, knowing they can't, and everybody else doesn't know they can. So, you know, I worked that out for them quite eloquently. I think it's some of my best work. I was really inspired. And it pretty much is saying that there's going to be an explanation needed during this election cycle. You know how I do things public. I mean, Jason, it's funny because she knows I'm writing the whole thing probably, and I know that she knows I'm writing the whole thing probably. And I think I said, Jim said, blah, 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 about 3 times. So I'm writing, Jim says that blah, 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 blah. And she's reading it going, is that Jim writing to me saying he says that? And it's like, sorry, Tina, but we got an email trail to create here too, and it works better this way. Otherwise, I would be doing this as Jim with her. I would. I mean, why would I do it this way? She got a lot on her mind too. I don't know if they're going to figure that out, but you can see what I mean. It's like you give patients hope by your co-sponsorship. You're a minority party. You want to make inroads. It's during an election cycle. You have ammunition and you don't use it. There's a reason for that. You know why? It's none of the reasons are good. And I'm sure, like I've told everybody, Tina's well aware I'm an equal opportunity asshole when it comes to getting stuff done. What's up, Steve?
Hey, Steve, how are you?
He's probably getting his sound on, just like that.
Yep. Hey now.
What's up, Steve? What's going
What
on?
up? Just got done fishing. Just pulled my boat out of the water.
And so, catch anything?
No, just kind of went around a little bit, threw some line in, but nothing.
Yeah. That's the fun part, just hanging out, open.
Yeah, it's better than any day at work, I tell you that. Yeah, it's only around the corner from my house, so I don't even have to go far.
Yeah, good enough.
On a lake?
Yeah, Spotswood Lake is, I mean, literally, I could probably walk my boat to it from my house.
Yeah, I saved a turtle in there one time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just dredged it. And actually, a lot of turtles were supposedly killed on the road. They dredged it out like a year or 2 ago.
Oh, shit.
But I did see some turtles the other day when I was in.
Ooh, I'm gonna call, get the mute.
Yep.
So you guys going to Founders Day with some flyers? What are you guys doing?
When is Founders Day?
So they have Founders Day over in La Valette. I think it's September 9th.
Oh boy. That'll be fun.
Sounds like a good time. What day of the week is it?
I don't know.
I'm not gonna figure anything.
Hold on. September 9th is Saturday.
That's probably doable, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going on usually the weekend after Labor Day, like, Seaside, Lavalette, and not much, I mean, maybe in point too.
A lot of elections coming up, a lot of glad handing, kissing
Yeah.
knees. I'll glad hand some of those guys in Lavalette.
Yeah, well, yeah, this could be fun. I had a pretty good time at the Morristown Day. I'm not Founders Day, but they have their weekly version of that. Because I went to see the Democratic trios, the two Assembly and Senate representation, because of course the Senator Singleton wrote this session's patient home grow bill, and Assemblyman Herb Conway, who shit canned home grow in 2009, is there. So yeah, I dropped off some stuff at their table they had, and yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. I would think that's exactly where the mayor would be. I mean, why would a mayor not go to Founders Day?
Yeah, and have a shirt with Adam on it saying, "Who's your daddy?"
Oh yeah, that would be interesting. It's really, you can ask people, hey, yeah, why don't you come here and we'll do something? But it's like Founders Day, and it's on the Barrier Island there, and it's a weekend after Labor Day. It's like asking somebody to go to a party to help, to take part. And yeah, I think I'm going to make sure more than a few people know about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the residents should know what the fuck is going on, but there's only 2,000 residents that live there. 12 months out of the year.
Yeah, there's not much going on at all when everybody goes back home or their other home. But so, wow, kind of wondering what the reaction would be. I imagine all the, is going to certainly be a police presence.
Oh yeah, and I think all the council will be there, and I think what you guys should do is, if you guys don't have a regular mic, go get a karaoke mic, cut the wire, and walk up to these fools and say, "Oh, would you like to be interviewed for whatever news, blah blah blah," and fucking start asking them questions.
And filming?
Yeah, and filming. Hey, we just have a couple questions for you, Mayor. Yeah. Why do you arrest people for filming your council meetings? Do you not want transparency of what's going on in town? And then make him look like an asshole because they're going to run away, and then just do a montage of them all running away.
Yeah, run away.
I mean that's we need traction on our videos, but even more, we need a lawyer.
Yeah. Yeah,
I would love to bring my dog there with a wheelchair. with like something on her, because everybody would go, oh, and then something on her saying they arrested my dad for filming.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I don't know if my wife will let me go though.
Oh yeah, you might get divorced at that one. She might kill you. She'll kill you and divorce from that one.
I'm wondering if Brian Cummings is going to be okay to go, because his wife's rather nervous. He was not allowed to go into the building the last time out, although she was okay with him going to the parking lot. So, this is the parking lot. I guess it should be good. I mean, it's and the whole thing was they still did they ever address why the mat isn't rolled out on the beach? Isn't that where this all started, to say what happened to that? I mean, I keep forgetting this isn't a cannabis issue. You know, it just seems like the usual suspects taking part, or
Well, it was a cannabis issue because they banned medical cannabis in Lavalette, which brought out the other issues like the wheelchair accessibility issues and the First Amendment issues.
Yeah,
They're just very ignorant down there.
so
they're going to do what they want. They feel like, they live there, so they get to make the rules, and everybody else is an out of towner and Benny.
yeah, and that's where a lot of their ratables are successful. I mean, the taxes, getting money into the township is from the tourists, the bennies, or the shoebies. Nah, they don't pretty much go there. I can see though that there are probably a good number of people in Lavalette that will think of even being there doing that an intrusion, and I don't much give a shit myself. But I always try to figure out, I mean, there's a lot of ways to go about this. I mean, when I do something like this, and I usually like trying to be under the radar initially at some point, like not necessarily have a shirt that's shouting out why I'm there or holding a sign, because I remember in 2000 and was it 9? Yeah, 2009, we were at Hamilton, their day, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And is in the park area, nice asphalt walkway with tables off it and all. And that's when Ken Walski said, "That Governor Christie, that's the biggest ass I've ever seen." He was walking the other way. We had no idea he'd be there. He was a candidate, and he wasn't the one leading in the polls even. So of course I, went right over, but when I did, I brought that postcard with Cheryl on it and covered up the part where her sign said, "I'm a medical marijuana patient, not a criminal." And he was easy to engage then, much like a mayor would be easy to engage, from some, just an old guy, So I talked to him about, with that, and I was pointing at her, and I forget what I was saying, but it was good misdirection.
Yeah.
And then I mentioned to him what he had said about medical marijuana in quite the negative way. And then I took my thumb off and said, "Oh, Cheryl will be really disappointed to hear that." And then now all of a sudden he knows, but he's leaning in, and pictures.
Right.
And that's when I looked up and saw Bill Baroni with him, who was the one that went to jail for putting up traffic cones at Fort Lee,
Yeah.
But he was also the Republican senator on the Senate Health Committee that when he heard Chuck Kwiatkowski's testimony, he broke down. He's crying. He put his head down. He couldn't take it anymore. And he apologized to his Republican colleagues on the committee that I have to break with, whatever he called it, because, when you have a chance to do all this. And he said, "I read everything everybody sent me all weekend, And so there he was. And I reiterated that to our future governor, hopeful. And he looked up at Senator Baroni and he had his arms falling. He goes, "Yeah, I did. That's what I said." Almost proud, And then 2 weeks later, they were having I don't know if it was a debate or a discussion of some sort politically, and the reporter had a man on the street ask him a question. "What would you want to ask candidate Christie?" And it happened to be Rick Cusick from High Times, an editor at High Times. So he asked the right question. And I was in Wisconsin, and somebody said, "Oh, I heard today even your candidate in New Jersey supports medical marijuana. I said, no, he doesn't. And he had made a statement, he walked it back to if it was tightly controlled,
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that man, it'd be nice to know, to look at them, who the council members are, and I'm sure their pictures are in public. I mean, they usually are on the page. And what I do in a situation like this is, especially if I'm like in a legislative building of some sort, I try to know what the players, what they look like, so I can in effect do that to them. But it'd just be kind of fun to be talking to the mayor about anything. Wonderful town you have here. And then, say like, do I need permission to video here? And have them just sort of like that be my, just to have a little fun. But purposefully, I'd like to, as many people there to know a short bullet point version, which is why before I was talking about, I could probably use some help with the bullet points, that are real good for a quick reading of almost a postcard size. It's easier for, I don't like to have papers, but I like to have postcard size papers. And but I think it would be fun to have a few people, plan. It'd just be nice.
Yeah, hit him from a couple different directions where he's not anticipating it.
And it's to, if I were him, or in a situation like that, I would I'd be kind of starting to wonder after maybe two people that I don't know saying hi on a Founders Day, and you're the freaking mayor, people are going to do that,
Yep.
I'm hoping I get to shake his hand, because Lefty knows my style.
Don't let go.
Don't let go.
Oh, that's awesome.
You keep talking, and you shake your hand while you talk. And I did that with Herb Conaway when I had a 2-man medical marijuana, a thing about kids and it was an outdoor fun. It might have been, they had some business in the War Memorial Auditorium, and he came over to say hello to the anti-fracking contingent of about 30 or 40 people. So I kind of circled around a little bit and came not from where I was, and got to show, so good to see you here. And as I was shaking his hand, I'm not here about fracking. I talked to him and I wouldn't let go. And I forget where there's video, who it was, but you could see, it was almost like, how long do you think it is before you, if you were them, would you absolutely give me my hand back?
Right.
The seconds go by painfully slow for him. And it would be
it's perception that now you're still holding hands with them.
Yeah. And just, not that it helps the overall situation we're dealing with, but I could see a mayor not wanting somebody else going, oh, hi, how are you, Mayor? And maybe he won't extend his hand. Hey, what's the matter with this?
Yeah, it looks bad.
Let them know there are people watching out. I think this could be fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's to me, it's still sick that the prosecutor hasn't dropped it.
Why do you think that is? I think it's
they're trying to protect the cops and the town from a lawsuit.
Well, I mean, dropping it should be the way to do that. I mean, it seems like they're at the moment inviting, well, actually, yeah, go ahead, sue. I hope you get a lot. I mean, it's like you almost got an invitation. So
well, that's what he said. Good. I hope you sue, and I hope you win a lot of money. Oh, and then on Facebook, I had a meme up there of him and a Barbara, and they deleted both comments and they banned me.
No, really?
Yeah, which is illegal, but that's illegal. You said Hamilton. Yeah. So it's Van Wagner versus Yady, which was the mayor in Hamilton. She was blocking people and wanted them to have to be a lawyer. They sued and they won, and they had to pay the lawyer $40,000. You can't block people on Facebook. It's a First Amendment right.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I also put in a tort claim for
I
that
didn't know that.
with them.
So now, as to being able to retain a lawyer, even I believe a while back, maybe the first time on talking about this on Zoom, you or Mike, I thought, said something about could get at least a certain amount of money, so you have a lawyer in court for the first
Yeah,
court
I
date.
think right now we got 650. Obviously, we need to raise some more.
Yeah,
I think that if we had a couple thousand, we can get one that can hopefully just fight it and do a couple motions and have it dismissed.
and then also what was being discussed is in the original retaining of the lawyer, to say the lawsuit that we would like to follow will thereby be yours.
Right.
In other words, I'm if I were a lawyer, I generally don't say that a lot because I never end up knowing how they think anyway. But if I was, it would seem that this would be some potential easy money on the lawsuit part.
Yep. Oh,
And,
easy money.
yeah, and then he could, at the very worst, get his money and then from the award to you guys, recoup the rest of his fee for the court. As a lawyer, it's like, how much is it going to cost really to go to court to defend?
Yeah, it shouldn't be much to dismiss it because it's never going to go to trial. If I'm a prosecutor, yeah, I'm gonna try to thanks. I'm gonna try to stop it from what the fuck. So if I'm the prosecutor, I'm gonna try to bluff my way as much as I can, thinking it's gonna go to trial, and at the end, I don't want to be losing my trial. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have it dismissed.
I wonder if they would, at that time, when seeking to have it dismissed, is there some way they would try to bluff,
But I think if we had a good lawyer, he would just get it dismissed even way before all that.
yeah, no, I don't know. I don't have real good field vision for how this sort of thing works
Well,
out.
I mean, if you look at the charge, so we released now the body worn camera video footage of both of our arrests. I also did the security camera of the council meeting, and you see how we don't get up. We're physically not interfering with anything. And I asked Adam, what are the charges? And he said, I asked you 3 times if you got permission. And I said, I do. No, you don't.
No,
I do.
Yeah, I listened to that, like holding on to the earphones so I could hear every little bit of it. And it reminded me of that Cheech and Chong tune, it's me, Dave. Dave's not here. A guy knocking on the door. No.
I mean, I clearly say to him a bunch of times, I do. And I did.
Yeah. And then right after that, he would say, but you need prior approval. And one time he said, what, from the mayor or the council or something.
Right.
But it's given by way of the clerk, not them. That you don't, in other words.
Correct. If you read the resolution, which I have, it says in there, the only person that can give it is the clerk. Right. So even when he's explaining it to everybody, he's not even being accurate. It says in the resolution you have to ask for it from the clerk, which I did. I got it. And he has the folder up and he's like, oh, is it in here? And I said something to the administrator and he's like, you don't have to have a physical copy of it. You got permission. They just didn't know it was anonymously, but he didn't even look in the folder to see if it was in there. Because I said to him several times, I told you I had permission. No, you don't.
Man, this is just crazy.
So, I mean, with us, there's nothing even there that you can even charge us with. You know, they can't even say, well, you never told him. I did tell him.
Yeah.
He arrested me anyhow. You didn't want to hear it.
Well, you know,
Here it is.
Yeah,
you see
here it is. I mean, I tell him there I have permission. I have prior approval.
Now,
He doesn't want to hear
now
it.
you're gonna be escorted out now.
Why are you taking
Here's my
property?
camera.
Because I'm gonna put handcuffs on you in about 2 seconds.
I'm a disabled veteran.
You need prior approval to film the meeting.
I just
Okay.
showed you the law.
Okay, you're not understanding. You need prior approval to film
That's
the
the
meeting
law.
here. Okay,
I have prior approval right there.
the town has the rights to put restrictions on it. You need prior approval
Not
to
that
film the meeting.
restriction.
Sir,
Common law right.
I'm gonna ask you to leave.
Not leaving.
Sir,
You have my property. Can I have my property?
stand up, you're under arrest.
So even if I want to leave,
Here's
you
the
still
law.
have my property.
I'm a disabled veteran. Can you handcuff me in the front?
Here you go, in the front. There.
that was interesting there. I didn't notice that before.
I mean, I told him I appreciate you handcuffing me in the front. I mean, if he would have did it in the back, I would have been fucked up.
Right this way.
Sure. So here's the important part.
You need prior approval with the town. That's the town's ordinances.
They don't have an ordinance.
What's that? Absolutely. We're gonna go downstairs. Just turn this off. Can you turn this off for me?
No.
And how did he know that's recording? There's no screen.
I asked you 3 times if you had prior approval from the town administrator to film the meeting. You
I said
refused
I
to
did.
answer me, and I asked you.
No, I said I did.
You don't though.
I do.
Where it's not in here though.
Do your
He doesn't
thing.
even look in there.
You have prior approval from
I know.
Mr.
Do your
Bennett.
thing.
No, answer my
Do
question.
your thing.
Okay,
Didn't
do
even
you
look.
have prior approval from Mr. Bennett?
I am invoking my 5th and 6th Amendment right.
Okay. You can come downstairs. please.
Absolutely.
You can come
So
downstairs.
here how he says you're
Yeah,
being
take it.
recorded. Their policy, pause it real
You
quick.
want the stuff?
So their policy says for recording that they have to announce, and that's probably the AG's ruling too, that they have to announce that you're being audio and video recorded. He doesn't do that with me or with Mikey. So
No.
that's a violation. That's an IA.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't, after you invoked your 5th and 6th Amendment rights, I'm surprised he didn't counter with his First Amendment rights.
And what?
Well, I mean, Lavalette thinks First Amendment rights or Fourth Amendment rights or something. I don't know. I mean, remember that they were that what's it, the memo they send out something about the town meeting, a public announcement of whatever, and
Well,
they
it's not a First Amendment right. It was
I
ruled
know,
that it's
I
common
know,
law
but
right.
the Lavalette thing, whoever writes their shit for here's what we did at the meeting, and there was problems with a First Amendment right issue, and people didn't want their faces to have
Right,
pictures
yeah,
taken.
Barbara.
Yeah, but so anyway, it was just written up as the First Amendment, and all I could think of is that they don't even know what they're sending this out to the public. I mean, to anybody to see how, you know, how their meeting went and what's going on. They
Right.
really they don't have a clue,
Nope.
you know.
This
I
is
mean,
what
and you hear me in there saying, you know, he says you have, you know, they have reasonable restrictions. Said, yeah, not this. And I say it's a common right law. It's a common law right to record a meeting. I never told him it was First Amendment, even though to me it kind of falls in line with that, but that's not what the court ruled.
No, well, yeah, it's the Supreme Court said with reasonable restrictions in 2007. So
Right.
they're, you know, and a reasonable restriction, it sounds reasonable the way they would like to portray it is, well, yeah, it only takes a minute or so. And but
they can't say no. So that's
no,
not reasonable.
they can't say no. So you abided by their reasonable restrictions. It just seems like there's nothing you don't know about this, or there's
Right. And if you read the Supreme Court ruling, it says it can't be ad hoc and it's got to be codified. They didn't
Yeah.
codify anything. They put it in a resolution. That's it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I would think whoever is their lawyers, I mean, they gotta have a township attorney of some sort,
Sure.
and I'm
And
sure
then
he,
so he said at the next meeting that, oh, everybody can record, just, say your name and, okay. So that falls right in line with Taurus, where same exact thing happened. He got arrested, and next meetings he could record. Yeah, I read the code. Yeah.
Exemptions,
What are you talking about?
exemptions for filming.
You talk about live streaming and shit like that.
If the provision of this article cannot apply to the filming by professional or amateur still or acting photographer for the purpose of capturing images to be used for artistic and or do not require the any additional persons or additional beyond the use of a single digital or film camera or recording device, which may be mounted on a tripod or image stabilized.
Yeah, so we're good. So screenshot that, send it to me. Please, and thank you. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, we don't have to request permission, but we did, and they still arrested us.
that's that's the remains all the ambiguity of everything right there. It's very clear that you did say you had permission. You're not really required to have it with you. I don't
Right,
believe.
and that's exactly what John Bennett said.
Yeah, that's it's not like a driver's license and you're in a moving car and it's
Well, if that was required, it should be in a resolution. It's not. It just says that you have that prior approval. So in the police report, Adam says that he goes up to the clerk and asks her, who else besides Chris Angulo has permission? She says nobody. Meanwhile, like the week before is when I asked for it, on the 14th, and then the 24th is the day. I mean, I have the email.
So why does Chris have perpetual approval forever?
Well, just like mine, I said I would like to record all future meetings, and then they sent me the guidelines. So that's all future meetings.
But you did that anonymously, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that's mine too. When I go there, that's mine also.
Yep, it's everybody's.
Everybody's.
Sure, we all use that email address. Just like if it was let's say News 12, they have email addresses that are used by everybody, the whole news desk. So what's the difference?
Right.
Reading this, most of this, like a film, you want to film.
Like a
Jersey
movie.
Shore there.
Right.
I mean, this isn't,
But that's every town has that. You have to get a permit.
because you're filming publicly
Right.
on public property, so you're like a film crew or
Correct.
film agency, but I mean, this doesn't say that if you're a private citizen, you have to get that.
Correct. You don't. Because that'd be a violation of the First Amendment. And
understand.
What if you're making money off your channel?
it doesn't
Right.
matter. What do you think news does? They make money. That's a business.
Yeah, do you not have to have a release to do that? I think is what Lefty's talking about, right?
Not-
No.
not doing news.
Not if you're doing news. If I go to the post office and I record there, anybody that's
Yeah.
in there has no
That's
already
true.
been ruled
Yeah.
on.
I've seen myself on TV where things are going on for more than a few seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need permission. I mean, I might need permission if I'm going to use your name, but that's it.
Yeah, I have to have an attorney involved in this part for sure, though.
Yeah, it's news. It's all covered. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, we asked permission. We got permission. They're only guidelines. They're not rules. They're saying the resolution's a rule. Well, we follow that. We follow the guidelines. We follow and I agree with the guidelines. I have no problem with the guidelines. Where do you get off arresting us? And there's no audio in the booking room.
Oh, too bad.
Now, well, it really is because I laid into him, but according to my wife, you have to keep that body worn camera on.
That body worn camera is gonna be on from the minute they walk up to you until the minute you walk out of that police.
So they got a problem with that too. So they didn't do that. Oh, and the other thing is they didn't grant us a phone call, which their policy says. I got all their policies.
Yeah. Well,
We didn't get a phone call. They
did you
didn't. They
ask-
didn't keep body worn cameras on the whole time for a complete record.
Hmm.
You don't have any audio in the booking room. I mean, how many other things I still have to go through? But how many things did they fuck up? They grabbed his camera. They grabbed my camera. That's a Fourth Amendment violation.
Or during Superstorm Sandy, did all those film crews have to get permits to go down there and film?
Of course not.
The destruction?
At the end of the day, we did nothing wrong to the 10th degree. I mean, there's no ambiguity at all. So if he's telling me to leave, he still have my property, and I'm like, can I have my property? All right, you're under arrest. How am I supposed to leave if you're keeping my shit?
They also want you to provide, now, according to this, if you are filming on any public or private land in Lavalette, you have to have insurance coverage for bodily injury for $1 million.
Yeah, but that's for like if you're a
That's-
film crew.
But this is what they're doing. This is all underneath that permit.
Yeah,
that
they're convoluting everything
Yeah.
together.
goes underneath this.
Yeah, that would be correct.
So they're saying, in order for you to be able to film according to them inside of their building, you need $1 million liability policy.
No, that's only for like commercial.
No, if you read it,
I read it.
this is okay, but they're charging you with this. They're saying you didn't have a permit to film.
They're not charging me with that.
Okay, but listen to me.
I am listening.
No, you're not. You were in there.
Mhm.
They came up to you and told you couldn't film because you didn't have a permit.
No, they said I didn't have pre-authorization.
Okay, it's the same thing. It's a fucking permit. So in order to get the pre-authorization / permit, you have to have $1 million liability policy according to this.
No,
Yes,
the resolution is what they're referring to,
resolution. The resolution has to be codified.
and it's not. So they have a resolution from January 2023 that says you have to have pre-authorization and record a council meeting. And that could be even up to 1 minute prior to the meeting, just saying, can I record? And they say yes.
Okay, if that's not codified,
Then it doesn't mean shit.
It doesn't mean shit. because
Correct.
We just had that problem in Spotswood.
Correct.
Because Pat didn't codify anything for the last 5 years. So all the fucking resolutions we passed, Jackie had to fucking go and get, because it's got to be sent. They can't codify it. They don't get to go in here and type it in.
Right.
That's not the way it works.
Right. But we weren't charged with
Jen,
that.
stop. Jen, who used to live across the street from us, had to send all of the resolutions to this fucking place, and they put it in.
Right.
So if that wasn't codified, and and the place they send it to is public, you can open request that place that they send it to. I'll get it from Jen.
Oh, okay.
And get all of the resolutions and when they were sent to them and when they were codified. If it's not in their thing, it's not codified.
It's not codified. It's not on the E-code. It's not.
I'm not gonna-
I agree with you. It's not. It's not codified. And that's exactly what the Supreme Court ruled, that it's got to be codified. So they can't say, all right, this meeting we're allowing 4 people. Oh, and Chris, you're the 5th person, you're out. And the next time he shows up early and they go, oh, this time we're only allowing 3 and you're the 4th person, Chris. Too bad.
yeah,
Can't do that.
we're only allowing people whose last names are after M in the alphabet. I'm sorry. It's, they seem to be able to give it a try when they feel like it, but you've got to be right about they're just waiting, as long as they can to do anything about this. They're going to want to bluff like, let's do this. And
Do they-
And,
do they,
I don't know.
So they were filming them. If you go on YouTube, you'll actually find their old meetings from like 10 years ago, but they only have a security camera that has no audio.
Because this says meeting tapes. There is hereby established a fee of $5 for tapes for open public meetings held by the Borough of Mont
Right. So I open requested those and it only came back as security footage. No audio. So they don't record their meetings. Sunshine, we're fully allowed to record the meetings to get an accurate representation of what happened. I mean, at the end of the day, they're just fucked and they know it. And I think they're just kind of puckering their ass because they know they're about to be sued.
I'd like a lawyer to see all this, I'll feel better,
Oh, me too.
How
I
much
mean, it's
does
a
it,
slam dunk.
yeah, how
I mean,
much
you
does
heard
it,
me. I have permission.
what does it cost to get a lawyer to read something, to listen to you?
Oh,
for-
it's usually nothing for a consult.
No, it's not
Yeah.
looking at the consult anymore. They're charging, when Heather went in on her consult, it was $2,500 because of all the paperwork. Yeah, it's not anymore. And somebody else just did it too, and it was almost $1,500 for a consult. They're not doing free consults anymore.
I might have to reach out to my cousin Jimmy.
That would probably be a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't know Jimmy, but I like his name.
Yeah, well, Jimmy represented a guy years ago that was growing pot and he had enough to do like 1,000 joints or something.
Yeah.
He was homegrown. I think it was a black guy.
I know Willie Beamer, I don't know where his problem of growing 15 plants is. Do you know, Lefty? Is that Franklin Township?
Yeah, I think that might have been the guy.
No, Willie Beamer growing
Yeah.
well, his court date he's got a court date for September 21st.
Oh, this was like 10 years ago.
No, yeah, this thing's just going on. So, I mean, I don't know how it goes. I guess since you're eligible for a jury trial, I'm assuming it takes 12 to send him to jail. And I don't know, I kind of feel he sold his bike. I don't know what he was driving, but he sold it to get money, and he thinks he's going to be. I don't know if it was Michael Hoffman or a familiar name. And I'm going to be talking to him over the weekend just to make sure people get out. I mean, I'm talking about necessarily protesting out, but just observe in court, just to have a presence. I mean, it's not a tough gig. It's tougher than saying, "Hey, listen, I could really use some people to show up at Lovelet's Founders Day." Oh, okay. It sounds like a good time,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I just kind of want to have eyes on these guys for a second, a little bit, and without doing anything, specifically.
Well,
But,
I think it should be recorded, and I think they should be asked questions. And when they say
yeah,
no comment and look like assholes and walk away, you make
yeah.
a montage of them all doing that.
Yeah, well, I'm good as anybody about being polite and wanting to have a couple seconds time. I want somebody else. I mean, I don't do it while I'm videoing, but I get at least 15 seconds when I grab somebody's hand to shake.
That's great.
And it doesn't sound like,
to shake him and doesn't let go.
oh, and I've timed them. One's 18 because I get to see them as somebody's videoing. And
Yeah.
an 18-second handshake. Just do that with somebody sometime and watch the seconds painfully go by, And then when you feel pulling away, just squeeze a little harder.
Yeah, and pull them in.
That just says you got it. You're
Yep.
getting this now, right? Yeah. It's very gratifying,
That's great.
It's sort of like saying one thing and they know you mean another. I did a little sidebar here. The fun part of my first time getting arrested, 1998 for giving my late wife a bud to eat as medicine on a congressman's office doorway. What happened is on the 5th floor, and there's only I think 2 elevators there. So we got in with 2 security. I think it was a national news organization of some kind, which is pretty cool. And all the rest of the media, and I counted 19 boom mics. So there was plenty of the old-fashioned huge cameras,
Mhm.
And when we got up to the 5th floor, that's when they found out where they had to go, and they'd been through security. You could hear the stampede from the first floor, when we got off the elevator, as quick as they were trying to get up the stairs. And the guy had the balls
Wow.
to say, okay, you either take care of your business now or I'm, blah, blah, blah. You know, in other words, he didn't want us waiting for him.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I have to bend Cheryl a little bit first before we move after this, because otherwise she's gonna have like some stiffness and it's gonna hurt. And I looked him in the eyes and said, you do understand what I'm telling you, don't you? And he looked so dejected, you know, it was, I think I was supposed to be scared and I was just like really pissed off. So anyway, but this is just so seemingly one-sided. And hell, I'm surprised by how they've let it go. They're just like backing themselves into a corner. And I'm thinking maybe they haven't even done it as bad as they can yet. Maybe they're just going to add insult to their own injury somehow, you know?
Well, if you read Barbara's thing, the next meeting that we didn't go to, the mayor was back and he was talking shit about the agenda, but he was changing the agenda, anticipating more shenanigans.
Yeah, I read
Like,
that. Yeah.
what are you talking about? Like, you guys are wrong. It's not shenanigans.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was theirs. You know, they,
Lacicero or whatever it is. Lacicero. Cicero. La Cicero.
is that his name?
Yes, La Cicero. Well, the
Yeah.
son's the chief of police and the other son's the sergeant.
That's a major conflict.
You think?
Is he Wallace the Cicero? Is that in Wally World?
Yeah.
Wally?
Yep. And then Christian's the chief, and then Adam's the sergeant.
Who's the borough attorney?
I don't know. Yeah, and then you have Lamb. He's on the council. His son's the other sergeant, and then his sister is the other cop that was there. You kidding me?
that's quite a Lavalette family tree.
Every arrest is a family reunion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it.
It's a party for them.
Huh. Well,
Ian Burns.
So I believe Willie's online with us. I believe Will H is actually Willie. If you look at the chat. So hi, Willie. If that's you, hi, Willie. And New Jersey Corruption Watch. Shout out to New Jersey Corruption Watch.
All right, Mike.
Mike, you're the best. Mike's been doing this for years. For years, Mike's been fighting with Lavalette, talking about how they don't use their walkie-talkies, they use their phones, and he could never listen to their conversations online. It's ridiculous what they've been doing, and Mike's been exposing that for years.
No.
They do not have to use walkie-talkies anymore. All phone calls that have anything to do with children or domestics or potential criminal activity will go over the cell phone.
That's fucking crazy.
Because people were listening in, they don't want that anymore. That's pretty standard throughout. Like when I was on animal control calls, if there was an issue, they would call it in on their phone. They use their walkies for general stuff, you know, rides to the scene, you know, could you send out a sergeant, shit like that. But all of that private conversation crap goes over the cell phone.
I love the Bongholio.
He's got a big
That's
butt
awesome.
in the top of him.
You guys are crazy.
yeah, you didn't see the end of last week. This whole town ran amok, man. There was like vehicles running over people and stuff from a distance, and they were just having some fun at the end of last week.
Where's Mikey? Is he working?
Mikey's out on a date, having fun.
Oh,
Self-care.
that's Sunday.
Self-care went Thursday.
Yeah, it's a 4-day self-care weekend.
Yeah, I was just out on the water on my kayak fishing.
Well, I am going to, you know, I mean, with the other legal interest in on my radar, Willie, I'm finding it an amazing circle that Senator Scutari went from the time that he asked Governor Corzine to pardon John Wilson for being convicted of growing 17 plants because he had MS. He asked him to be pardoned, and now he's delayed a bill that would help patients, and he also one that would help adults, but the singular one that would help patients, he's for 2.5 years. And it certainly occurred to me that the man that wanted a pardon from the governor for John Wilson, that home grow for patients could have passed last session. Not that it would have, it could have. But if it didn't, it could have passed this session if it had a hearing last session.
Yeah.
And now he's keeping it from having a hearing this session, so it'll get all the way into next one, and they can push it all the way back to how many people are going to die, how much suffering, and if he hadn't done this, if Nick Scutari did not get in the way of this bill, if he said, "Go ahead, let's let it run, see what everybody wants," if he'd done that, the worst Willie would have been guilty of was growing more than the law allowed.
Yeah.
But I am pretty sure that Willie would say, no, if that law was there, I would have grown 4 plants until they were mature so I could start growing 4 immature plants. That's what I would have done, and I'd have made it work. You know,
Right.
but I could have done it more openly and well, it wasn't, you know, I mean, it wasn't in public view, you know, he had to get ratted out for it to happen too. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's not like it was just willy-nilly. Hey, willy-nilly. And that, of course, doesn't do anything for the legality of it, but, you know, I explained to Willie when we got to talk personally, there's not much to do to help except make sure that there's a court presence. It does help.
Yeah, it does help when you have power of the
Yeah.
people.
And it doesn't have to be loud demonstrations, but it can be accompanying with just people holding signs, not buttonholing and screaming or nothing. I mean, I got real close to getting arrested at Weedman's trial for having signs where the jury pool would have to walk right by me, because, you know, where they parked, and they would ask, "Why are you at this particular spot?" I'm going, "Oh, it's a good spot. There's a lot of people walking by, but the jury pool will walk by here." I can't help that, you know, but they did say they were gonna. The second day, when the judge found out that there was an article in the paper about my signs, and you know, I think they explained he's a patient, not a guilty criminal, and not and guilty was a much bolder, larger
Right.
letter saying not guilty, jury pool, you know. And then they had the balls after that to ask me to go over to where he and everybody had lunch by his wheelmobile smoking pot. And he asked me to go tell him not to smoke pot there. And I thought, and I'm like, this is okay, let me run this by you guys. What I figure is you don't want to do that. But if you arrested, if you cited him for smoking lunch while in the middle of a trial for trying to prove that he could indeed have 2 pounds for himself, you know, in other words, it would be all his. So his defense was, "No, I'm weed man, I can smoke that much pot." So he was inviting them to do that to help his case. It was a very bizarre thing. But in any case, just presence being there, and that's the one thing I'm hoping I can at least come through for you and Willie on, is making sure people care to show up. And in this case, I'm going to be asking, hey, you know, let's show up and hang out in Lavallette a little bit on the 9th, go to Founders Day. And
Yeah, it's like next Saturday.
Yeah, I'll have some information to hand out, bullet points, just to, not because I think it's going to rally anybody to the cause, It's just telling them fuck themselves when you show up at their Founders Day to do this while they're not shit canning this case. You know, if they want
Right.
to let the case drag on, this is what comes with it, you know, rabble like us.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, and they said that they knew Mikey from a previous time he tried recording.
so that's what people are known for, right? Wow.
Yeah, because I got the police reports too.
Oh yeah, I'd like to see
Oh.
those.
Yeah, and then I also got so I asked the clerk, I said, you sent me discovery, but where is the email to the clerk? And then where is the response saying, here are the guidelines stuff? Oh, it's not in your arrest file. Okay, it's still discovery, and that's gonna prove my innocence. Where is it? That's discovery.
Is there like a time that they have to do that or be guilty of
Up to the day of
withholding
the
it?
trial,
Yeah,
they can walk in with it and say, here you go. But I'm gonna ask for it to be dismissed,
Well, you know.
later on for that.
every TV show I've ever seen when that happens, they go, we're gonna have to postpone this, and I don't have, that's not enough time, whatever. You
Yeah,
know,
well, that's all the bullshit that they always do anyhow, where it's like,
yeah, it's standard.
this will be 3 years of postponements.
Huh.
You guys felt for-
I felt it when they arrested me. Here you go. You're served.
Is there a Brady hearing,
Mm-mm.
a Brady ruling, or a Brady hearing?
Brady Giglio list?
Brady hearing
What's that?
requires prosecutors to disclose material, exculpatory information, stuff like that. And Brady versus Maryland is the case.
I don't know. I mean, I know discovery wise, they have to provide that to me.
Wait,
Wally World.
I mean, and that's the official
Hey guys,
document, so I want that from them.
yeah, that's what a Brady hearing is. So if they have evidence that would exonerate you, that's exculpatory evidence. So if they're withholding it, you can request a Brady hearing, which is
Oh.
basically a ruling by name. The guy's name is Brady in that case, right? So a Brady hearing is you demand X, Y, and Z, whatever. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I just play one on TV. So that would be your next step if you wanted whatever they're withholding, you can make them give you. Or I think what's at the I don't quote me on this, but I think what's at stake at a Brady hearing is you basically, if they can't produce what it is you're asking for, and what you're asking for is something reasonable, like they under normal circumstances they would have that or provide that, then I think that the presumption is that they're withholding something, and your shit could be dismissed. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I'll have to look
Brady
into that.
Brady
I'll file a
hearing.
motion.
Yeah, Brady,
Yeah,
like
I'll file a
a Brady
motion
bunch.
for it. Sure.
Well,
I
look
mean, I
at
already filed the motion to have it dismissed.
Well, I mean, if the motion did they deny your motion to dismiss? You're waiting.
So the judge denied it, and then when I said, well, the prosecutor hasn't even responded to it yet, he's like, oh, okay, we'll hear it next time then. The next, it's like, well, you're already fucking denying it based on what? I have a sound reason in my request with all court cases, and you just denied it based on what? So I have no faith that if the prosecutor, but then again, the prosecutor might say, yeah, all his points are valid, and we dismiss, but who the fuck knows?
It's a catch-22. I've been in a lot of courtrooms doing activist stuff, right? And it's like this game where even though you can have the truth is, like if you have the correct argument, you have the facts, everything is on your side. There are ways that you can still not win. It's like, it's not like a magic.
Oh, I know.
It's so unfair, right? Like it's like, again, like the Brady here, like all these things exist, but like they just deny whatever they want because they want to, like it's a plea market, when they want you to give
Oh,
up.
I know. We got found guilty of stuff in Helmeta that we didn't do, and so basically, municipal judges have no idea what they're doing with this complexity of a case, because they only see stupid shit. So then they get something like this and they just find everybody guilty because they pissed them off. So then you have to appeal it to get a real judge to say, well, what the fuck is going on here?
Also a civil suit, but you need a lawyer for that who takes cash money.
Well, I know I already have a civil suit ready to go. I already have the attorney for that.
I mean, does your attorney feel that the fact that you're facing criminal charges at all is you've already been harmed, or is he waiting to see whether or not you're found guilty before they trigger the civil suit?
No, he said, whatever you do, don't let them say that, you know, like if they say, all right, we'll drop everything as long as you agree to probable cause. No, there's no probable cause. So we'll go to trial.
That's what I was talking about before. I couldn't, I don't speak lawyerly as good as anybody, but that they would look for something like that at the end, like when they say, okay, we'll drop it.
Right.
But, there's going to be it's going to be more of a negotiation from their standpoint, but certainly not from yours.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely not. I mean, we'll
But-
go to trial because I got everything saying I had permission. I told him I had permission. He arrested me anyhow and then charged me with something completely different because they have nothing on an ordinance. And even when I asked him, what am I being arrested for? He goes, I asked you, 3 times filming, but so you arrested me for filming, but then you charged me with physically interfering with a meeting.
There wasn't a meeting in progress, was it?
No, not at all.
Huh.
So he could have said, ask them permission. If they say yes, you can record.
There was
They don't
time
pay
then,
them to
yeah.
think.
Because they say even up to a minute. So I got
Mm-hmm.
arrested. It was 3 minutes before the meeting. So he could have said, just ask them permission. And if they say, yeah, you're good. No, he
Right.
arrested me.
Right.
That's what
But
they
I
do.
told him I had
yeah.
permission. I got the permission.
That's what they do with the State House. They'll come out, well, I guess everybody has their shit together now, but it would be, they come out and say, listen, you don't have a permit. So why don't you come on down and get one and just hold everything where it is? It'll take 20 minutes. And that's 20 minutes and you have to go do it. There, they could give you verbal permission on the spot.
Right. Right. But again, it's the clerk that says it, not even a lawmaker.
Right.
Not even part of their council.
Yeah.
Who the fuck's the clerk?
Well, the clerk isn't the one that makes the decision, is it? I mean, in other
Yeah,
words.
it is. And
Oh.
supposedly they denied
I
Chris
hear
the
you.
one time to record. You can't do that.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, she's the one that grants it or not grants it.
Does she write it down anywhere or does
No,
she do it?
I Oprah requested all people that have requested permission to record, and they have nothing in writing.
Oh,
So Chris just calls up and says, I'm coming to the meeting tonight. Can I record? And they go, yes. And Julo, guy that lives in town.
the more I understand about this, the stranger it seems.
Yeah, so I asked for all applications to record at the public meeting, because that's what they say you have to get prior permission, and they don't have any. So I could have verbally got it on the phone, and then I wouldn't have anything to be able to say, yeah, I got permission, and then she could just deny it.
Yep.
But that's why I got the email.
Hmm.
He says, must be Donnelly Amico.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I sent you guys a resolution where it says that.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I missed
Yeah,
it.
I sent it to them, I think. I think I took a
Oh.
picture of it and sent it to them. But it's in the guidelines. It says, you have to ask permission, and here are the guidelines I'm recording.
Know that because he's a fucking attorney.
So what?
He's violating everybody's First Amendment rights as a fucking attorney.
Right.
You should file. You guys are done with this. You should file a fucking complaint against him. I'd be a bar.
Yeah, I will with all the attorneys. So
She- She's not a good human.
I said to the one attorney, oh, I forgot what I was going to say now. I mean, you can't put this any more than we asked permission, we got it. We were quiet. We had the minimal amount of stuff, not obtrusive at all. They didn't give a shit.
Yeah, and most noticeably, you couldn't have been more calm.
Yeah, the whole time I sat down.
Verbally, demonstratively, everything,
Yeah.
What
Well,
was
because
it
I was
he
trying to
asked?
make sure that they wouldn't say, well, you created a commotion. You created a
Hmm.
disturbance. I actually, in the beginning of the video, my video, you hear me ignoring him because I didn't want to interact with the guy at all because I didn't want them saying, well, you created a disturbance, so you got to leave now.
Yeah, what was it at the end? At the end, he said something, would you, I forget, turn this on, no. I
Yeah, how do
forget
you
what
turn it
that,
off? I don't want you turning it off.
yeah,
In fact, I wasn't even sure at the time if it was even recording.
but it just sounded funny, so will you turn that off? No, kind of like,
Yeah.
It was an actual question, not rhetorical, Yeah,
Mhm.
They can't do
yeah,
that. That's
and an
illegal.
actual
That's
answer.
ruled by the Supreme Court. Phones are considered computers and they cannot touch the phone without a warrant to do so.
It's a GoPro.
Doesn't matter. It's a filming device.
Yeah.
They have no business turning it
No,
off.
they turn them off all the time when they arrest you. And then sometimes they delete the fucking footage.
So they did that in Ohio.
Yeah.
Or to have about like 5 people they don't know walking around the Lovelit Founders Day with GoPro cameras on, just enjoying the day,
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be kind of funny.
Yeah. I mean, this whole thing is just bizarre.
What are you gonna do? So wait, here's a question. What do they do? So you need a permit to film at Founder's Day, allegedly, right? Is that, am I understanding that?
No, it's only if you're like a film crew, if you're filming like
No,
Jersey Shore.
But that's not, but if that was the case, then you wouldn't have been arrested inside the fucking police building. Inside the municipal court. So according to them, in order for you to film anywhere on public property, you would need a permit. What do you do with a drone? That's filming. I could be standing 2 fucking miles away. They've never fucking seen it.
The whole thing is stupid. The First Amendment overrides all that. But
Yep.
in my case, you don't need a permit. So on Founders Day, you don't need a permit. That's only if you're filming for commercial. It says commercial on it and something else. I forget what it says on for the permit. So you don't need a permit. And then they didn't go after us for not having a permit in the council meeting. It was we didn't get pre-authorization, not a permit. So there's a difference.
No, this says no person shall film or permit filming within the borough of Lavalette on public lands without first obtaining a permit. Which permit shall set forth the location of such filming and the date and dates when such filming shall take place. A permit is required to be applied for and approved at least 14 days prior to the first date that filming is requested.
What's above that? It should say commercial.
Above that is nothing. It says public lands. Any and every public street, highway, sidewalk, right of way, or public property within the borough of Lavalette, which is within the jurisdiction and control of the borough of Lavalette. Public land shall include all places in public resort.
I remember when I read it, which makes sense. You got to get a permit if you're filming, for a TV show or, you're doing a documentary or anything like that.
It says, as used herein, the person or entity for which an application to the borough of Lavalette is made for permission to conduct filming, and any agents, servants, employees, or designees signing such application, representing the person or entity for which the application is made, or holding permit for filming, which is issued pursuant to the article. Filming, the taking of motion pictures, either film, videotape, or similar recording medium for commercial or educational purposes.
There you go.
Can you wait until I'm done? For commercial or education purposes and intended for viewing on any video, television, cable, or internet content, or streaming media, or in theaters or for institutional use.
That would be correct. So if you're doing it for commercial or educational purposes,
That's not what it says.
that's how I read it.
That's not what it says. How you interpret things is not the way things are read. That's not what it says. This says that if you are a person and you want to film on any public property in Lavalette, you must have permission 14 days prior to doing so. That's what this says. It doesn't say if you're a commercial entity. It says if you are a person person, not entity.
Well, that wouldn't even make sense because there's no way you can enforce that. Besides at a council meeting.
It says, as used here in the person or entity for which an application to the Borough of Lavallette is made.
Steve, where's the other ordinance from this year that talks about filming the council meeting? Because I know what she's looking at, which is correct. But
Yeah,
there's
on the Eco 360. So if it's on resolutions from January 2023 at the first meeting.
which resolution?
It's a reorganization meeting. I don't offhand. I know I have it. I think in my bag. Hang on, let me go see if I have it in my bag.
Because maybe that's where they make the distinction between filming for commercial use and filming the council meeting. There must be some distinction they make here.
There's gotta be a distinction that they made, and if it hasn't been submitted and put into the code, it's not even an ordinance.
Yeah, it's not an ordinance. They said it's a rule. Okay,
In order
whatever.
for it to be an ordinance, it has to be codified.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm looking for it too.
So I got the red. So when I was there, Bennett gave me a copy of it. He printed it out for me. So
I'm gonna have to be leaving the group here. I've got a,
all right. So it's resolution. 2023-15, January 3rd, 2023. So this goes into like decorum and all that kind of stuff. And let's get to that exact page, which is what he emailed me, or what she emailed me. All right, so it's on page 12. So it says guidelines for public videotaping of any and all council meetings. Permission for public videotaping of any and all council meetings can be obtained verbally or in writing prior to the meeting from the borough clerk. Please be advised that you shall adhere to the following guidelines. Filming equipment, you can't use their electric, and you can't use lighting and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, that's the resolution. We followed it from the clerk. We got the writing. We got the email.
I can't find it. Can you send me the link?
I don't know if there is a link. I got a copy of it.
hey, listen, I gotta get going, but one thing, that there is an email from the clerk saying I have permission, there's written validation of.
Oh
is
yeah,
that
I
what
have the
you're
email.
saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to be sure. There's just so many moving parts to this that come from different directions, and I get confused on a good day. All right. Hey, listen, I'm glad, I'll figure this is like Lefty's Playhouse on Thursday nights, so I'm getting used to the fact that I have something to do on Thursday night, Just when I get used to it, don't disrupt the flow. I like it.
Yeah, I
All
saw
right.
the text. I was like, "Oh, I got to get out of the water."
Yeah. Well, listen, good talking to you, Steve. Good seeing you guys,
Yeah, good
everybody.
to see you too, Jim.
And
Thanks, Jim.
I'll when I say I'll be at Loveland on for the Founders Day, that's like a 90% for sure. It's like, I go to Tom's River every Sunday, so I'll be trying to trade the family Saturday for Sunday for Saturday, so I can do everything. I want to have my cake and eat it too. No, eat my cake and have it too. Shit. Everybody said that wrong. I pride myself. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Every time you've ever eaten cake, you've had it first. You can't eat your cake without having it. It's the exact opposite anyway. I got that one right. All right, I gotta do what I gotta do, and see you next Thursday.
All right, hey, Lefty, I'll send you over. I'll take a picture of it, of the resolution.
Out. Good night to all. Yeah.
All right, good night, guys.
Good night.
So
All right.
Lefty, I'll take a picture of it right now and I'll send it to you.
Right on.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you. So coming up, 420, the 420 Expo, that's coming up soon. Where's the date here? Okay, here we go. September 29th to October 1st, 2023, 420 Expo in Edison, New Jersey. We'll be there. Cheech will be there. It'll be really cool. It'll be a smoking area. Bongholio may make an appearance on the podcast to interview a few people, so that should be really cool. And look forward to that. Also in Atlantic City coming up, we have the Dear Summer, Thanks for the Memories. This is North Step Productions on September 23rd, and we'll be there for that whole day. We'll be giving away lighters and papers for donations. So that's coming up in Atlantic City, at the Orange Loop Amphitheater. Dear Summer, Thanks for the Memories. Oh boy, summer is over. Oh my. 100 days till Christmas. Ho ho. Thank you, cmmmnj.org. You're the best. Thank you, Canasense. Thank you, Neil. UFCW, Local 152. All the locals. The UFCW is the best. They need to keep these companies in line because they're killing workers around the country. And we need to make sure that workers are protected as well as patients. JacksonStorms.com, Smoke and Monkey, Arlo Glass, OprahMachine.com, which has been a game changer for activism. Pure Puff Lifestyle Shop and SativaCross.org. You can donate to SativaCross.org at SativaCross.org in the shop. Our list begins with Cheryl. She's the one who really got me inspired to do this kind of activism, because before that, I just wanted weed legal because I wanted to smoke weed. And I thought it was stupid that the government lied to me and that it was not unsafe and it wasn't like heroin. And then I met Cheryl and I found out that it was more than just giving cancer patients the munchies. I learned about the endocannabinoid system. I learned how it helped multiple sclerosis and cancer and all these other diseases, like hundreds and hundreds, over 1,000 diseases and illnesses. So cannabis, I learned a lot about that from Cheryl Miller. She inspired me because I didn't know. I was ignorant to it. And now I'm not. And I'm still ignorant to stuff that I'm still learning today. I was ignorant to those talking lights that go, wait, wait, wait. I didn't know what that was. Now I found out those are for deaf people, for blind people. So, and we're going to start advocating for those lights, those talking lights that go, wait, wait, wait. Because those are important for blind people, apparently. I was ignorant to that. So that's one of our missions. Our mission statement includes that, as well as Mike and Steve, who are downtrodden by the government. Our mission statement talks about the downtrodden. They're being downtrodden by the government. So if you want to donate to Mike and Steve, they have a GoFundMe. It's listed on my page, on the Sativa Cross Disability page. It's everywhere. So you can donate to those guys. That would really be helpful to donate to those two guys. They're really doing a lot for a lot of different movements, a lot of different activism. Steve is an animal rights activist, apparently, because he shut down a very dangerous shelter in Helmeta. And so, yeah, this is more than just cannabis and wheelchair. This is a lot of different things here. This is First Amendment. This is a lot of stuff here going on here. So, yes, please help the GoFundMe page. You can also donate to sativacross.org, and we really appreciate it. So, Cheryl Miller, man, can't say enough about how she inspired me, and I've seen it with my own eyes, and I've seen how Jim would get her medicated, and then how she was rigid before, and then all of a sudden she could move her arms, and she couldn't do that 5 minutes before that. But After that cannabis, she can move her arms. And I was amazed. I didn't know. Sabina Rose, Diane, Gracie, Cindy Mae, Marie, Jack, Joan, Randy, Polly, Bill, Chad, Jeremy, Colette, Matt, Troy, Russ, Roger, Jay, Ella, Hattie, Jackie, Anthony, Jake, Armando, Felicia, Lynn, Dan, Sean, Joyce, Lori, Frank, Brian, Flo, Carl, Thorne, Frank, Lorraine, Terry, Charlotte, Cher, Jaybird, Michael, Marley, Colette, Brendan, Red, Rico, Lulu, Becky, and Jeff Oakes. And I really hope Jeff's Law gets passed this season. See you all next week. Have a good night, everyone. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end, against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.